I begin my everyday makeup with foundation. My foundation is from the brand Revlon in the shade Ivory. It is important to find a shade of foundation that blends well with your skin tones and stays that way throughout the day. So far, this foundation has been the best match for me, as it is fair enough to blend easily into my skin, it covers imperfections, and it does not oxidize and change color throughout the day. My preferred method of application is to use my fingers, blending the foundation from the center of my face out to the edges, over the ears, and down the neck. Next, I use a concealer that is a little lighter than my skin tone, which can be difficult if you have extremely fair skin. I have, however, found that this Tarte concealer in the shade Porcelain Beige is perfect for around my eyes and for any blemishes or imperfections I may have on my face. To blend the concealer, I use my fingers yet again and a damp sponge. The damp sponge makes the whole makeup look flawless and helps to remove any unevenness or lines that I might have created with my fingers. After I have blended in the concealer, I go once more over all of my face with that damp sponge just to make sure everything has been blended together. Next, powder. I use a generic white talc powder that smells vaguely of lavender and apply it with a sponge. In the past, women used a heavy amount of powder. However, back then, foundation would be oil-based, so it would be a lot more greasy and shiny. Today, there is a lot less oil in makeup, so I do not need to use as much as they did. I start powdering in the center of my face. Usually I start with the eyes, and then work my way out to the neck and ears. Now for lips. This is the part of my makeup that takes the most time. I most always use red lipstick, and usually I use 2 shades. To start, I use my favorite lipstick from the brand Besame in the shade Red Velvet. This is a beautiful lipstick inside and out. To apply it, I use an art paintbrush. I know that might sound strange, but this has been the best and longest lasting makeup brush I have, and no other brush has been able to beat its exact and detailed application. Whatever makeup style you prefer, it is best to have clean, well-applied lines and make sure that each side is as symmetrical as possible. Sometimes I will actually step back and just look at my work and see it from every angle to get a good perspective of what needs to be done. The shape of your lips should be determined by what looks good with your face first, and then what style you want. My lips are already a good shape for my favorite periods of the 1930s and 40s, but I do tend to extend them slightly in the corners to make them a little wider and fuller. Of course, little mistakes can happen. Usually on the bottom lip, I have several mistakes or uneven lines. So I take a small, flat brush and a little bit of foundation just to clean up the line and erase any errant smudges. Finally, in the center, I add my second coat using my second favorite lipstick from Revlon called Love That Red. Love That Red is slightly brighter and a little shinier than the Besame lipstick, and it acts as a highlight to give dimension to the lips. On to the battle of the brows. My eyebrows are my least favorite part of my makeup routine, and some days I do not have the chutzpah to wrangle them, so some days I will skip them altogether. I have found that using a pencil has helped make my eyebrows a lot easier to style. I use the Brow Stylist Designer Eyebrow Pencil from L'Oreal in the shade Blonde. Starting on one side, I move from the front of my brow along to the tail, and I make a rather sharp tail. And then I work to get the other eyebrow to match up, even if it's marginally, match with the first eyebrow. Basically, vintage makeup is natural 2.0. It is accentuating the best of your face and minimizing attributes that you may feel are less than favorable. Doing research, practicing, and finding what works best for you is the best advice that I could personally give. The way that I do my eyebrows may not work for everyone, so finding what works best for your face shape is much better than me just telling you what shape you should or should not do. Personally, I raise my tail and arch just a little to give some lift to my face and make it look a little less round and heavy. Next is eyeshadow, and I only use one shade from Clinique called Hazy, which is sort of a cold light brown color. Hazy is my favorite eyeshadow, and I use it all the time, unless, however, I am in a rush, and then I will just skip eyeshadow altogether and move on to mascara. With a small fluffy brush, I put a little shadow in my crease and then wing it out from my eye. My eyes are quite round, so this little bit of shape and shadow adds depth and stretches out my eyes to make them look more appealing. Lastly, we have the lashes. For everyday makeup, I do not use false lashes. I'm just going with what God gave me here and adding a little mascara to it. Firstly, I curl the lashes and then I apply a generous amount of Clinique's waterproof high impact curling mascara in the shade Black. I don't apply any product to my lower lashes, only the top lashes. That is just a personal preference. You can apply mascara to your bottom lashes if you so desire, but personally I just do not like the way that style looks on me. And that is how I do my everyday vintage makeup. In a pinch, I can achieve this look in about 20 minutes. It's pretty simple, especially after you practice it a few times. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.